Caller, you're live on the air. What's your name, comment, and/or question?
Is this for Umar from Brooklyn?
Umar, it's always a pleasure, my friend. What's on your mind?
Oh, did y'all come up to one of my favorite debates, voter apathy, low voter turnout.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've been railing about for a while now, everyone is completely underestimating it. And let's put it in terms of Donald Trump. And since I'm unapologetic in my first issue is black people. I'm a black guy.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Brooklyn. I know the hand to mouth. I can say that old saying, I've been rich, I've been poor. I'd rather be rich, but I know about the poor. And here's what I'm saying. What people continue to underestimate is what low voter turnout is saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what all you guys just said. It is not that people don't see that Donald Trump has a certain buffoonish nature. It is that they're tired. And in their conservative opinion, it's like when the crash happened. All the upper middle class and rich people were going nuts. You know what poor people and black people were going? Oh, crash? Yeah, really?
We've been there. We've been in the crash.
You mean it's Tuesday? I mean, seriously. My own family members have told me, well, what is the difference between Donald Trump? We lived through Reagan. And let me make it clear on young people about Reagan. I was in college during Reagan. I had just gotten out the Air Force. I was in college. I had grants. Reagan made an announcement as soon as he got an announcement. College students need to pay for themselves. I remember this speech. So we're cutting off the grants. Now, one would have thought that cut off the grants would have been the next year. No, those grants got cut that semester.
Wow.
I was pulled into my financial aid office saying, look, your grants are going. You got to take a loan.
Wow.
And the student loan train began then. And this is a first-hand account. And that's I've been trying to say to people about the whole low voter turnout thing for I can't imagine how long. They're telling you something. And now they're turning out for Trump. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying Hillary isn't winning, but there is a clear rejection of Hillary Clinton.
Absolutely.
And it's not, like I said, I had admiration for her when she fought for the health care thing in the 90s. Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry. I was part of the independent campaigns, wasn't it, Ralph Nader and the rest of them?
2000, yep.
When she pulled that super predator thing out, and I was like, excuse me, what? And here's the irony. They actually came to the black community talking about, remember when Republicans used Willie Horton? And I'm like, well, what is the difference between Willie Horton and your super predator speech?
Right.
I'm missing it. And this is what people got to get. This is what I mean by the other part of this is when I keep saying about progressives being too erudite, too thinking everybody understands every nuance of the issue. The common person doesn't give up. They don't care about the intricacies and the back history, and they're like, we're suffering.
Right.
We're tired of suffering, period, end of conversation. Trump sounds like, okay, we might suffer under Trump, but what's the difference between suffering under Bush, suffering under Clinton, suffering under Reagan? What's the difference? Please explain it to us. And no one ever gives anybody that explanation.
Umar, thanks so much for the call, man. I agree with you 100% that's where we are. We're at the point where it's a complete pushback. It's a complete rejection of establishment politics. People will rather you know what? I am not going to even try to convince people to not be Bernie or bust because it's not up to me. People have made up their minds. Like some people, I'm not Bernie or bust myself, but some people are so upset with the political establishment, whether it's Republican or Democratic, that they would rather sit back and let it just all fall apart than to elect Hillary Clinton. And you know what? If she wins, she wins. But that really is a bold statement, and if you put it in context of what's happening on the Republican side, the DNC, they really have to wake up. They're too vested. They're pot committed. They've gone too far with trying to force from the top down a candidate and completely ignored that the other side actually, even though they have the wrong candidate, they have the wrong ideology. They have the wrong attitude. Some of them are racist. Some of them are xenophobic. Some of them are homophobic. But in terms of their political freedom and their political free will, they got it kind of right on the other side, which is kind of hard for me to say. But truth be told, I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
The Democratic establishment couldn't divest themselves from the Clintons and Clintonism even if they wanted to. I mean, I don't even think they could. They have the ability to want to divest themselves from the Clintons and Clintonism. The Clinton family is the most influential political family unit probably since either the Kennedys or the Roosevelts. They how is what influence are they going to have? Or like the Obama family may have some influence post presidency, but nothing like the Clintons have had over the past
Right.
2 decades. And unless not only does she lose to Bernie, but Bernie mandates in his nomination that this is the same way that Clinton said the era of big government is over when
Mm.
he ran his campaign. He has to put the nail in the coffin for Clintonism and establishment politics.
Mm.
He can't have like Obama, where he brought in Clinton, Bill, and Hillary. Bill as his explainer in chief. That stuff can't happen. He has to take that stand and say, this is us moving in a new direction, to stop those people who are so mad about establishment politics from believing that he's going to involve himself with that lane.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because, and I'm going to hit you in the chat room about the B section of this conversation. Let's talk about the one thing that's really standing in his way, in Bernie Sanders' way, and that's the black vote. I hate to admit it, but the black vote is